One of the reasons why it takes people so long often to get to hypnotherapy as the resolution for their problem is because from the beginning, they didn't understand that their issue was a subconscious issue. And so, what happens with this when it's not brought to awareness or it's been potentially even diagnosed? But not understanding that the root cause is in the subconscious. And then the problem with this is that then they are trying conscious methods to resolve the problem. So, for example, panic attacks or an anxiety attack. If you're looking for coping mechanisms, great, or managing anxiety, great, or even talking about your anxiety or where it comes from. Unfortunately, though, this doesn't resolve the problem if the problem is in the subconscious. Now, for example, a subconscious problem around anxiety would likely be an experience or an event in the past that caused an imprint. And now there's that emotional and involuntary reaction. This is a way that we know when there is a subconscious problem. In my next video, I'll go over the top 3 ways to tell if something is a subconscious problem. And what I'm here to talk about today is just that realization, just that understanding that if you're not really sure that your problem or even your client's problem is a subconscious problem, then prescribing or suggesting or talking about things from a conscious, analytical, logical perspective will not resolve the problem. And that's it. It's really simple. It's just that in our world, we have still a tendency to look for the physical answers or even the logical answers, or even sometimes the emotional answers, which can be helpful. And I know for me, before I became a hypnotherapist, well, it's actually the reason that I became a hypnotherapist because I was very aware of all of the reasons of like why I was doing the things I was doing and where they were coming from and how I was being triggered and on and on. And I had physical issues too that I could really see that were connected to emotional and likely psychological stuff. And so once I got that far, I think this is like 12 years on my healing journey. Once I got to there, I started to see how, oh, this is great knowing about this, but it actually doesn't change it. And that's when I really intuitively was just like, oh, right. I wanted to learn hypnosis. And then once I studied hypnotherapy, in fact, in my hypnotherapy training, I had a breakthrough, which happens so often in my courses with my students as well, especially when they're designed for that. And it all changed. It all changed. And I was like, right. Now I've gotten to the solution. So while it can be helpful to have coping mechanisms or even have somebody to talk to and to psychoanalyze and become more aware of why we might have learned these behaviors, because that can be really helpful for self-compassion and self-love, um, it doesn't change the issue. It doesn't resolve it. It doesn't desensitize the triggers. And it often doesn't even bring with it the deeper awareness, because even something like I was saying with the anxiety, where you might have you might think that like I thought I knew where something of mine was in the past, but then when you explore it to heal and release that imprint in the subconscious mind and you go back, it is very unlikely actually that that specific event was the initial sensitizing event. So I'll leave it there for now. Maybe just start to consider, hmm, maybe the reason why things that I have been doing to heal or change aren't working because I haven't been working on them in the subconscious mind. And then my next video, I'll talk about the 3 top ways to know when something is a subconscious problem and therefore can only be resolved in the subconscious mind. Ciao for now.